You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more.
What up, me? This is your boy Al Mega. Ignore all that stuff at the beginning. You know what happens when people want to just come into your platform and start changing things around? Like, oh, what happened here? Well, I had to fix that. But you know what? It don't matter, because today we're going to be talking about an amazing Kickstarter by an amazing independent creator, because you know what we do at Comic Crew, man. It's about the celebration of amazing creators and dope projects. Now, this bad boy is almost funded within 16 days to go. So I love this. All right. So you guys are going to make it rain, but that means you got 2 paychecks to go to fund this amazing project. No excuses. So let me introduce the creator right now. All right. I mean, this man got a dope project. It's Bixby Grant. Fangs and Brimstone, baby, a supernatural mystery that's about to terrify you, make your skin crawl, make those hairs stand up, and a whole lot more. And the man behind that universe, the one, the only, the amazing Patrick Coyle. What up, homie? How you doing?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me, Al. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming on, wanting to hang out and talk about this fire project you got out now. 16 days to go, folks. That's what I'm saying. You got time.
Yep.
Not too much time, but
not too much.
You got 2 paychecks time. So don't play around with us. Don't fib. All right. I know. All right. Don't make us go to your home or send whatever protect. Don't make me send Bixby Grant to your home.
You don't want him in your house.
Yeah, you don't, especially with a face like that. There's only a face a mother could love. So
that's right.
Before we get into this whole world of Bixby, the private eye, and all that dopeness, Patrick, let us know, where do you hail from originally? And most importantly, for me, I always love to know this. What is the first thing in fandom that you ever fell in love with?
Okay, so I grew up in the Hartford, Connecticut area. And then I went to school in upstate New York, and now I've lived in central Massachusetts now for almost 20 years.
Oh,
so
I'm a Northeasterner. All right.
Yeah, totally. Yep. I snuck a couple years in New York City there in early after college, but
I'm sorry you did that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun for a couple of years, but I couldn't afford it.
It was cheap, I'm sure.
God, yeah.
Cheap for New York.
Yeah, cheap for New York. I mean, this was the mid 90s, so it was a while back. It wasn't as bad as it was today, but I wasn't making that much money. But all right, so first thing in fandom, you mean like movies, TV?
Overall, the first thing that you ever fell in love with that kind of drove your pop culture fandom and drove you to where you kind of at today.
Okay, I'd have to say Star Wars. I remember being, a little kid standing in line to see it with my folks, because back then you couldn't buy tickets online.
You went to the movies for this one? With the first one?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And I remember seeing Empire Strikes Back in the theaters too. Raiders of the Lost Ark, like all that stuff.
Did you ask for those, or your parents are just that cool?
We asked.
Please, I'll do my chores.
Yeah, totally. I mean, everybody was nuts for Star Wars anyways, so my parents understood that it was like this phenomenon, but they took us. So I had a little brother too, and probably some friends came along as well. But yeah, it was crazy. It blew my mind, and I had no idea. Once I got older, I started to understand what things influenced Star Wars, and you kind of track things back and start to discover old movies and old like Flash Gordon and all the other kind of geeky stuff that I started to love too. How did you
discover those? I mean, if we're talking about the 90s, were you going to cons and buying the videotapes, pre-web?
Yeah, I started going to cons in the 80s, believe it or not. I went my very first con was in Wethersfield, Connecticut. John Byrne was the big guest there. and Mike Zeck was also there. The guy who used to do like the Punisher and Captain America. And
Captain America covers, man. I love him and Mike Grunwald, man. Some of the best Captain America ever.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Mark Grunwald. But and Mike Zeck did free sketches, if you can believe that. Free.
Get out of it. What an experience, Pat. I'm jealous.
I know. And he sat and he talked to me for like a half an hour while he was doing the sketch. It was unbelievable because I wanted to be an artist when I was a kid. So I showed him I went home, got my like portfolio, which was just like a bunch of drawings. In fact, one of them, I think I traced one of his Secret Wars covers and when watercolored it and just to try out watercolors. But I showed it to him as if he wouldn't know that it was his cover. Yeah. But he just gave me, he was super nice. He went through the whole thing. He was super encouraging. It was awesome. Like, and I got the bug. And so from a very young age, I've been making comics.
So you think that's a better answer? Because I hear some people complain when they go up to some creators and they say, draw another 200 pages and then come back to me.
Yeah, I've had a similar experience to that too. But I'm not going to name names. But yeah, I've seen all kinds of stuff. I had a small press back starting in year 2000 called Comic Works. And
wait. You said you had a small press. Wait a minute. Look at this guy. He wants to skip the whole journey. Wait a minute. So you're a comic geek. You're going to cons. Your parents are encouraging. You're showing work because you're into this. All right. So how the hell did that even lead into you opening up a publishing press here? Was it here in good old Connecticut?
It was. So it was. Well, my partner lived in Los Angeles. His name is Shannon Eric Denton, and he has been in comics and animation since the mid '90s. And he at the time was doing storyboard work for Warner Brothers on the Justice League show, I think, if I can remember correctly. He also worked on like the Spider-Man. He's gonna kill me, but one of the like revamped Spider-Man shows in the late '90s, where it was like an alternate costume. Maybe it was in the future. It wasn't Spidey 2099. It was one of those. Anyways, he knows everybody in the industry, and he'd been putting out some of his own comics through Antarctic Press. And I picked up one of his books. And I went to his website, and my day job was as a web designer. So I was like, hey, I can help you with your website if you help me with my comics, kind of thing. Like, I'll help you this, you help me that. Because being in New England at that time, I didn't know much about the scene here. I didn't know any of the guys at like New England Comics. I didn't know any of the guys who were working on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or any of that kind of stuff. I wasn't really plugged into the scene. So Shannon kind of showed me the ropes, and we set up this comic book company. We were going to do it primarily online because it's free, right? Like you only have to set up. You got to buy a server spot on a server and a website address, a URL. But outside of that, you don't have to pay for publishing, distributing, any of that kind of stuff, right? So we started putting out our own stuff. We started putting out short comics by other independent creators. And then we actually did put out a few printed anthologies too, like little digest size, black and white books. Yes. And we had people like Keith Giffen, Dwayne McDuffie, Ernie Colon, Eric Canetti. Who else? It was like we had literally hundreds of people in there.
Well, let me get a broom. My God.
I know. And it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. We did that for about 10 years, and we did the San Diego show. We had a booth there for like 9 out of those 10 years. We also put out a series of, you can see them right up here on my screen, series of illustrated novels for kids. We worked with Dan Mishkin, who co-created Blue Devil back in the day for DC, and Tom Mandrake, who used to do The Spirit and some Batman, and a bunch of other really talented, great folks in animation and film and comics too. So, but the problem was we got really busy and really kind of caught up in doing the books and the website and managing the business that we didn't end up putting out like all of our own stuff, right? So I wasn't writing and drawing, which is what I wanted to be doing. And then also we both ended up, having families and buying houses and needing day jobs. And so like our time
Life
had to
got in the way, damn it.
Yep. I mean, it happens. And it was all that was awesome too. It just meant that, we couldn't really spend our time doing that. So as my kids got older, I kept having the itch to do comics. And then finally, a couple of years ago during the pandemic, I was like, look, I'm not getting any younger. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. So with my family's support, I spend most of my free time when I'm not working or being a father doing this stuff. So that's kind of where it all came together. Yeah.
Love it. So now how easy was it to navigate in now this COVID world of creation? Being especially that you already published before, it was different. You were dealing with people, you were doing your thing. Even if it was in Los Angeles, don't matter. You were doing it one way. Now COVID comes and you decide to make a project. What learning curves, if any, or maybe what lessons from your previous publishing could you have applied here to help you navigate?
Well, so there was a lot to learn. So I knew nothing about Kickstarter other than I had backed a couple of things, but I didn't know what made a successful, campaign or anything. So
you were a supporter, but never a creator on it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I had to figure out, okay, well, what's going to work? And you can find a whole bunch of stuff online, but you can't ask questions to people who just publish a PDF or an article or whatever. So I started talking to people who have done it. That's actually how I got hooked up with Heather Antos, my editor. Is I paid her for a consulting session for Kickstarters because she's done several successful ones, and then she also was able to refer me to some other people to talk to, and I just kind of started building a little network that way. I also I'd never really written anything longer than a 10-page story.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So he went balls deep in this one, baby. Yeah. So you went from a 10-page, all right, I'm gonna create a monster, and how the hell do I do this?
Yeah.
But I love the courage. This is why I tell people that comic creators are a lot more than just creators. They're entrepreneurs, because you're you're creating an IP that you want to put out there as a comic creator. Those are two separate things, honestly.
Yes. Yeah. And in fact, I've told a couple other people this as well, so I'm probably repeating myself, but it's 50% doing your project and 50% marketing and selling it, right? Absolutely. So at least it might even be 60-40, with the 60 being the marketing and the selling.
So nobody knows what the hell you're creating. So you gotta definitely, put a big portion into that while you build, and as the brand hopefully builds, the marketing percentage could go down and you can focus more on the work.
Yeah. And honestly, that side of it is the hardest part, because it's relentless, right? You got to keep up with social media. You got to be constantly pimping your stuff and going to shows. And
you know what? I had a conversation on International Comics Creators about this kind of stuff. As an independent creator, what's the biggest challenge on the marketing side that you face?
Honestly, I think it's keeping up with social media. So especially the last year or so, because things are changing so much, because Twitter really took a nosedive.
You mean X?
No, I refuse. I refuse to call it X.
Oh
no, absolutely not. I actually got most of my traffic to my Kickstarter a year ago from Twitter. Or X, or whatever you want to call it. And then this year it just tanked, right? So I'm also on Threads, and I'm also on Blue Sky, and I'm also on Facebook, and I'm also on LinkedIn and Instagram. And it's just okay, so you got to keep all that stuff going.
Mastodon.
I tried Mastodon and it wasn't for me. But I am on
WordPress. All I'll say is this recommendation: if you have a WordPress website, the integration is so easy, you really don't got to do much.
Okay. All right. I am working on a new website that's going to be WordPress based. So,
then you can link a Mastodon and a couple other things into it. Just from my own experience, that easy peasy, and you'll be marketing, without marketing, just because you post something. You feel me?
Right. Yeah, totally. I mean, that's what I want. I want it as easy as possible, right? So I had signed up for one of those tools where you can post to multiple sites at once. Yeah, as long as you don't violate, the
So who do you use? It's okay. I love to use Hero Post. That's mine. You pay one price, lifetime, and it goes to multiple platforms.
Okay. I have not tried that one. I'm going to write that down.
Hero Post.
Okay. I use one called
I am not an affiliate on this either. I'm just saying I love using it because it actually leads, I could do one thing and it goes to multiple platforms. You
Yeah.
can schedule it, A and B copies, whatever you want. Again, if you're into the marketing side of it, you understand what the hell I'm saying.
Sure. No, absolutely. Yeah, I've been using one called Posto Plan. I think they just changed their name. Let me look at this real quick.
They probably got bought out by another one. That's what happens.
I think they did. Yeah. It's Content I don't know how to pronounce it, but if you look up Posto Plan, you'll find it. Posto Plan.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, and they don't have, because it's hard to catch up now. They don't have threads. They don't have.
The Threads is coming to Hero, I'll say that much, because again, it's a new API.
Right.
It
takes a while.
Facebook, X. I mean, actually, no one really has X except one.
Yeah.
Hootsuite.
They cost a lot of money though.
Yeah, and they do that purposely because they are paying that top dollar for platforms like X to be able to still send. But I wouldn't use them. Although, I mean, I'll talk to you in the green room. There are things you can do to navigate at no cost.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right. I'm just saying, baby. But this is what we do. How we support Indians. I love this conversation because see, now I know you really do care about marketing your project because you are using the tools, you're using the technology. How many creators don't use the fucking tools? And that makes me so they complain, but like, dude, are you do that? Are you using the tools?
Right.
To help you get out there? I don't think you are.
A lot of them, I mean, it's up to each individual how much they want to put into it, but that's how much you're going to get out of it too, right? So
absolutely.
Unless you're already an A-lister in the industry and you just decide I'm only going to do X, then you really got to be out there and hustling. So yeah, it's like I said, it's up to each individual how much they want to put into it, and I get it. It's a lot of work. Especially if you don't take the time to get a tool where you can queue things ahead of time, or
absolutely.
Otherwise you're spending a half hour, 45 minutes a day keeping up with all the platforms.
But you know what though? I mean, if you get a management tool like that could be an hour of management where you could even you give me an hour, I could schedule you a week of content.
Oh
easily,
yeah.
And then you guess what? For the rest of the day or the week, you're working on your project and you got stuff going automatically. Folks, work smart, not hard. Now, what I want to know about here is this.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the early seeds of Bixby. What inspired that? Because you're telling me Star Wars and all this, and then I see this. I'm like, this doesn't look like no sci-fi to me.
No, but I did love Raiders of the Lost Ark when I was a kid. Indiana Jones was also so. That time period, World War II, pre-World War II, time when people wore hats and suits, to work and everything.
And people actually cared about appearance. Gotcha. And they wore belts.
yeah, exactly. But like, and then I started getting into also in high school and college into like Raymond Chandler and detective novels and noir movies, old black and white stuff, like a lot of stuff. Plus, what Bix is a mummy, right? So I love the universal monsters, and I love vampires and werewolves and all that kind of fun stuff. Like that also kind of came up with my love of comics and pulp and all the stuff you could find at a comic book shop, right? Is kind of mashed up into Bix. And so I wanted something where I could do kind of whatever I wanted. So I actually came up with the idea for him back when I was in college. Which was it was I don't know if you remember the Great Lakes Avengers at all.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So when that came out, there was a character in there called Mr. Immortal, which they just used in the She-Hulk series last summer.
Yeah.
Or last spring, whenever that was. And I liked the idea that his only power was that he can't die. Right? Like or that he comes back to life. So he can die. Like I remember he falls off a building. And then like a minute later, like he pops back up and all his bones crack back into place and he's fine again. So I was like, okay, that's kind of fun. Well, who else can't die? And I was like, vampires. I'm like, well, but they can die with a stake through the heart. And kind of vampires are overdone. So what else? And so I don't know why, but I decided to pick up the concept of the Mummy. I went to school for illustration, and I had been doing a series of illustrations based on the Universal monsters. So Frankenstein, Bela Lugosi's Dracula, and the Mummy, Boris Karloff. And so
you were basing them on the original designs, or
yeah,
for example, like a Frankenstein based on a Bernie Wrightson. You know what I mean?
No, I could not. It was based on the Universal, the old style. I love Bernie Wrightson, but
do you know that there was supposed to be a possible movie that almost came out of his Frankenstein?
I did not know that.
Yeah, but I saw an image of a concept. I'm like, oh my effing God, please. And I mean, is it fair that he's not here now and he can't kind of navigate it? I don't think it'll be done justice.
No, I'm sure it won't. He was such a nice guy and such a great illustrator. It's
illustrator.
The world has really lost one of the greats.
Agree. Oh, bro, fucking high five there. I agree with you because for real, a legend, artistic legend in horror. But again, we're building a future legend here. Cause look, you're not touching on Frankie, but we got the Mummy, baby. I love it.
So you were asking for like the seeds, right? So I had like the monsters kind of over here, and then I was also exposing myself to a lot of the old detective movies, like from the 30s and 40s, and I just kind of mushed the two together. And then I didn't do anything with it. I sketched it and I kind of played with it, and then years later, I came back to it and tried to write it. That was like 6 years later.
How many years?
It's like 6 years after college.
Wow. Okay.
Because I got out of college, I needed to get a job, and I just needed to pay the bills and that kind of thing.
Adulthood happened.
yeah, totally. And so then every couple of years I'd get the itch and like, okay, let's break out some of the old ideas and start writing and start drawing. And the idea had always been that I was going to write and draw Bics. But over the years, my day job became more website design centered. So I became a UX designer, and I wasn't, drawing quite as much. So I got really rusty. And then after Comic Works, I was like, okay, the next thing I do is I'm going to get to be a good artist so I can draw Bics. And then years went by again. I didn't have the time to draw enough and get good enough. So I had to resolve myself to be like, okay, you're going to have to get somebody else to draw it. So
how easy of a decision, or not easy of a decision, was that to make?
It was not easy because it had been the dream since I was 10, right? So it took me a lot of soul searching to be like, all right, you gotta just give up on this part of it. And I really did realize that what have always appealed to me about making the art wasn't necessarily just the art, although I did enjoy that process. It was that I was making something, right? So art is part of a comic. Yeah, the script is part of a comic. Color is part of a comic. Like, I like making projects. Like this whole stack of books up here, I designed, right? So I enjoy projects like that, creative projects that are packaging a whole. And I learned that about myself over the years in my day job career. So I did branding work, I did print design, I did logo work, I did all kinds of stuff, website design. And it just taught me that I really like the creative process.
Yeah.
And I still do draw. Like, I did the back cover of the graphic novel that came out last year, but I'm not fast enough or consistent enough to do the interior of a book. It would take me 6 years. And then the quality would be so different. You know what I mean? Like, because I only have like an hour a day to draw. So
day by day, you're getting better. We're gonna see the progress. Like, whoa, bro! By the 10th page, you're like, yo, this is like Jim Lee drew this shit.
But that's probably not. I mean, it wouldn't be Jim Lee, but you would see like the first page would look like garbage, and hopefully that 70th page would look halfway decent. So
it's funny. I love your honesty behind this though, because I mean, I don't think a lot of creators are, or they have fun with this. I love it. If you're having fun, like you realize, all right, I know my limitations. I'll do covers, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, but at least so what was your journey like now in finding an artist that fit the vision of your story? What was that like now? Because now you having to let go, and now you have to shit like say, damn, you better be as like I envision. Like, how easy was that for you, or not?
Not that easy. I mean, I looked online at a lot of portfolios. I, kind of scrolled the Facebook pages for creators and looked around a lot, and I realized I was going to need to hire, a veteran somewhere who I knew has a track record of delivering, because you hear all the horror stories about people who just like, oh, they ghosted me after 3 pages and I paid them in full up front, like all this kind of baloney, right? So
Nice.
this
You
is
go
stuff
through
that,
that, honestly speaking, did never been kind of put in a bad position on the indie side as you navigated the journey?
have I?
Yeah,
Not too bad. Not like the horror stories I've heard. Oh yeah,
but
for
it's
sure.
happened though.
Oh yeah.
That's sad. Damn, God, come
Yeah.
on, people, do better. This is indie, yo. We're all trying to eat, man. Come on.
But the thing is like, I get it. Things pop up, things happen. Like if you have a health issue or a family issue,
Yeah, but speak
or
up, bro. I
well,
mean, in
that's
my
the thing.
opinion, that's all
That's
it
the
takes.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
listen. Don't we
Right.
all have one of these
Right.
and be like, either a text would be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I can't right now, and let me
Right.
return the money. Don't be an asshole."
Right. Well, that's the thing is, so there's also like, you have to learn. And some people, I'm on a Discord server with a bunch of great indie creators, and some of them have gotten bitten on the ass from, paying up front and then never hearing from the person again. It was just a total scam up front. And I was like, well, unless you got somebody who can vouch for these people, don't pay anybody up front. You're going to have to make a contingent on them delivering pages.
Bro, I want to build a network like this to find just reliable people that you could depend on. And I don't want nothing out of it. I just want to be able to connect creatives with creators that actually are hungry. Because
Yeah.
you're telling me right now, it's breaking my heart. Because again, as an independent creator myself, because again, Comic Creators is not owned by no one. It's me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
my people, it's us, are trying to build something. And that breaks my heart when you get taken advantage of like that. It's not fair. You know how much time and again, we sometimes take food out of our own mouths.
Yeah.
So and maybe our families don't know this, but as men, we do some dumb shit sometimes where we won't eat. Well, we'll make sure our family does, but we will sacrifice a little extra to make sure our dream comes true. So
Yeah.
I salute you on the journey, kiddo, because I know this shit ain't easy, bro.
Yeah, it is. It isn't, unfortunately. I did get lucky enough, though. The Shannon Denton, the guy I mentioned earlier, he's friends, like I said, with everybody, and he knows this guy Geraldo Borges, who is currently the penciler on Thunderbolts for Marvel.
Oh yes, I know that name. Shit,
Yeah.
like wait a minute, what?
He did Nightwing. He did Nightwing last year, and he's awesome.
He did a kick-ass one on Nightwing last year that everybody spoke about. And this is who you landed, bro?
Well, no. So no, he was too busy. He's too busy, but he and his partner Claudio Alvarez run a studio that represents, I don't know, 25 maybe different artists down in South America, because he's from Brazil.
But Brazil got some amazing effing artists.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. So I had talked to a few people up here in the States. But then I found the right person in Gonzalo Martinez, who did the interior art, and also the main cover, not the variant covers. He wasn't who I originally had in my head, and I'm not talking out of school, because I've told him this already. He knows this. But it was once he started. I did a 7-pager with him. I paid him. It wasn't like, hey, can you do a tryout for me? Because that would be a real jerk move. But I paid him, right? I'm like, here's a script for a 7-pager. Just let's see how we do together. Yeah. And so he did it. It looked awesome. It was way better than I was expecting. Not because he wasn't talented, but just because, again, you give somebody a script, you don't know how they're going to envision it and how it's going to turn out on the page. It's that loss of control that kind of freaks you out, right? So it's he knocked my socks off with that. And with that, I was also able to book Heather Antos as my editor. And so Gonzalo did the first 72-page graphic novel last year, and he's the returning artist on Bixby Grant, Fangs and Brimstone.
You mean this project right here that's
the
live
one.
right now?
That's the one.
Let me talk about this real quick, folks. Again, I said this before. We have 16 days to go. We have 176 backers. A salute and a bow to you guys. Thank you for supporting amazing independent creators. But again, look at it. So close, baby. So close right
We're
now.
getting there.
With
We're
2 paychecks to go. $4,700 goal, and we're at $4,250, baby. Let's make it happen. Wepa. All right, let's go. I mean, look at this imagery. When you see some craziness like this, how do you not want to see this? And you know what, folks? We got to do it. I'm going to show you this video, and we're going to do a deep dive into this volume of Bixby Grant. Let's check it out, mi gente. Wepa!
What? No. I'm banned nationally from Arby's. They don't want me to have the meats. No, I said, what? The mic's hot? Hey, it's me again, Patrick Coyle, creator of your favorite mummy detective, Bixby Grant, Private Eye. I've got great news for all you beautiful, smart people who love to support independent comic creators like me, and backed the first Bixby Grant graphic novel last year. We're now launching a new series called Bixby Grant Private Eye, Fangs and Brimstone, and it's full of more mysteries, monsters, and hoo-ha action. For new readers, this is a great place to start. It's a brand new story, not a continuation, so you can just pick this up and start reading without any prior knowledge. And if you are new to Bix, here's the quick pitch. Bixby Grant is Hellboy meets the Spirit with a sprinkle of Batman the Animated Series. Bixby Grant is a hard-drinking, chain-smoking, gun-toting mummy detective who'd rather just be left alone to stew in his own misery. But in Fangs and Brimstone, a routine investigation runs Bix across the path of a rockabilly vampire, a poltergeist, and a ritual killing. And we get a glimpse of Bix back in his early days as a human, before he turned into a living mummy. Now, how does all this tie together? I have no idea. Of course I know, but I'm not going to tell you. You got to read the comic. That's all fine, Patrick, but what will I get for my hard-earned money? First off, you're going to get a 30-page comic that features a 20-page Bixby Grant story with artwork by returning art team Gonzalo Martinez and Arthur Hesley. Take a look at these pages. They are gorgeous. And did I mention there's an 8-page backup story called Zombie Town featuring the gorgeous work of Gonzalo Ruggieri? I didn't? Well, I'm mentioning it now. Look at Gonzalo's art. I love it so much.
Insane.
And then, of course, we have our covers. 3 to choose from, in fact. We have our standard cover by interior artist Gonzalo Martinez. We have a variant from Green Lantern Earth 1 writer-artist Gabriel Hardman, and a Zombie Town variant cover from Star Wars and Star Trek cover artist Liana Kangas. Plus, you can get any of our covers printed on metal, or you can get Gabriel's cover as a fold-out poster. There are a ton of add-ons, like the Raphael Albuquerque poster from the last campaign, buttons, stickers, and a Bixby Grant case file. And for stretch goals, we've got some new stickers, digital wallpaper, PDF of the script, a new case file, and all new mini prints by Rich Woodall, Mike Macropolis, and Damian Torres. Don't these look sweet? So if you would, take a minute, look at the options we have available for this campaign, and I hope you'll consider supporting this latest Bixby Grant adventure. Thanks.
Yo, bro, you got some stuff going on here. What's up, man? What? Okay, I'm already digging the project, second story. I mean, all these names you dropping. My goodness, dude, I need a broom like really quickly.
Yeah. My back hurts from carrying those names around before I threw them down.
Yeah, I'm like, look at this. Look at this character. I mean, so. Is this how you actually always envision him? I mean, just like that, homie, looking like Columbo.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, totally. The Bix was one of the characters that I had sketched for years, so his look was pretty well defined. What Gonzalo did was he kind of simplified it. Like he made his version of it very simple and very easy on the eyes, whereas mine was always super sketchy. and a lot more detail. But yeah, Gonzalo, I can't say enough about Gonzalo's art. Like, he's a really great storyteller. He's really good at acting with like facial expressions and posture and stuff with his characters, and also really great at creating interiors and buildings and other kind of spaces. He used to be an architect before he was a comic book artist, and he's just really great at a lot of stuff that some folks aren't. So yeah, it's been a more than a pleasure working with him for now almost 2 years.
Well, you got look at this design, yo. He looks dope, man. Kojak, motherfucking Columbo, gangster. And all I'm thinking here is, damn, bro, you got pants, t-shirts, you got a holster, a tie, and you got wraps under all that. You must be hot. Oh man, yo, and a happy birthday to Fonzie. Yo, I mean, anyone like Fonzie, son. Holy smokes, look at this. He looks cool though. I love it, bro. I love wearing my jeans like that. I love this look. I don't got the hair like that no more. It's a flat head now, but hey.
I think if you put a little gel in it, you might be able to get yours up.
Oh yeah, man. I'll do that whole 80s look and shit. You know, why not? You know, then I'll break off my hair very easily. I love the look, man. Look at this.
Yeah, Diego is great. When I first created him, he was going to be a punk, like a 70s punk. But then I decided it might be more fun if he was rockabilly. So Diego is in a band. He's always in a band, and he's always in a different band.
I got that jacket right there too, man.
Oh yeah, he's got the leather jacket. He's got the rolled up cuffs.
I'll be a rockabilly homie right here, son.
You got it. If it happens, we'll definitely look you up.
Don't you worry, man. I'll dye my hair just for the movie. I refuse in life now, but for a movie, I'll dye it. All right. Nobody want to dye this. I mean, look how white this is. This is insane.
We can get you some Just for Men on that.
Epa. And look at this. Yo, look at these scenery right here. And yo, this cover right there for The Wolf She Cried. Yo, that shit is fire.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get Raphael Albuquerque to do a variant cover on the last campaign.
All right, talk to me. How the heck do you land like this future legend in the making? Because he's still young in the game, to be honest.
Yeah.
To others. But he's already making an incredible name for himself. How the fuck, excuse the language, did you land, homie?
I gotta give credit to Heather Antos, who my editor.
Heather, Heather, come on to the comic crew. I'm bowing before you right now. Like, yo, for real, you that much of a boss, mama? I gotta talk to you.
She is. Heather is awesome. So Heather used to work at Marvel. She's currently works at IDW as a group editor on Star Trek and My Little Pony and one other property that I'm forgetting at the moment. Heather is awesome, and she knows everybody, and she's made.
I've heard her for many years, doing my thing, and I've seen what she's done, and I know a lot of people, there are groups of people that are just stupid, that are just, I think for me, feel insecure because she happens to be a lady. But brothers, weren't you raised by strong mamas or have strong sisters or titis next to you that don't feel insecure if a woman they're doing good? I mean, bless them. I mean, they're giving us a different angle on things, and sometimes that's a good thing. What's the problem going on?
I do not understand it. It's always been a problem in fandom, and I can't condone it, and I also don't understand it. I saw a Star Wars meme where they were talking about how in the Ahsoka series, how Sabine, she used the Force, but she was 10 years in training. But how in the cartoon, a character that was only 2 months in training used the same power, and no one said anything. But when Sabine used it, how could she use that? 10 versus 2 months, that's actually a big difference, guys. Come on. Don't be haters. The same thing happened when Force Awakens came out. Everybody got really, really upset that Rey could do all this stuff. I'm like, do you not remember Star Wars, the first one, where Luke could suddenly do all this stuff inside of a day? Like,
what I mean? It is what it is. Just get over it. Have fun with it. Everybody deserves this time, and enjoy it.
Yeah,
if you don't enjoy it, we're not going to get any more of it, and then you're really going to be mad.
That's right. And there's too much crap in this world already. Why do you have to add any more to it? Just let's keep it positive, man.
I agree, and this is why I love the project that you're doing. You bring a universal monster storytelling back. I mean, the OGs, and you're bringing him to such a different perspective. One of these amazing OGs of the universal. I'm like, for real, bro. I mean, I don't know if you smoke, but bro, to think about a mummy detective, you must have been on some different level.
Believe it or not, at that point I was stone sober, but
I love it. Straight edge, baby.
Yeah, it just came. I don't know, it just came together. But then I decided, then I do want to have one of each of the universal monsters in here. So Diego is my Dracula, right? And then I'm also going to have a creature from the Black Lagoon eventually, and also a who am I forgetting? Well, I have a Frankenstein too. It's in the first graphic novel we met Doc Stein, who is he's a gunslinger scientist, and his sister Francine is a giant 7-foot robot, and so she's my Frankenstein's monster.
Love it.
Yeah,
love it.
And they actually will make a cameo in the next issue of Bixby Grant's Fangs of Brimstone.
And I mean, look at this page, folks. Look at this panel usage on a page. Feels like an OG style comic where you see a lot of word bubbles, where a page will maybe take you to 5 minutes to read and absorb. Old school style, not like nowadays, splash panel, one word bubble, and you move on. No, I look, and then look at this letter. Who's your letterer, yo? That shit is fire too right here.
Yeah, I did the letters.
You, hey, yeah. Bro, salute! Look at you, bro. Wait a minute. So, what are your parts in the creation of the book outside of the artistry, of course?
So I did the outline, I did the script, I did then once it comes back from Gonzalo, and then the coloring is done by an awesome colorist named Arthur Hesley, who's also working for Marvel at the moment.
How's you Arthur?
Through Geraldo again. He works for Geraldo. I know.
Who's Geraldo, bro? He's sounding like the Kingpin more and more.
Geraldo is awesome, man. I can't say enough about he and Claudio at Studio Go have just been super supportive. They retweet all my stuff, and they
Studio Go to come over here. I would love to talk to them and help introduce them to the world that they're doing work like this. And I mean, you look at the smile on your face as every time I put some artists. Look at this. You just smile. Look, you see, folks. Yeah. I'm pushing. You're like, yeah, you're proud. I mean, look at this.
Absolutely.
Such a great comic book. I mean, again, panels, eye candy, coloring, the word bubbles, and I mean a lot of word bubbles. You're getting bang for your buck. You're actually reading, folks, not just looking at. No disrespect to my artist, but it's a combo. This is the symbiotic relationship between writer and artist at the end of the day, and it needs to show as such the power of both. And scenes. Look at in 2 pages. Look how many. No Marvel and DC book nowadays has this many fucking word bubbles in 2 pages. No. This will be as much as that you find probably in the book.
And I'm not quite as bad as like Chris Claremont used to be, or as Bendis is.
I grew up in that generation.
I did too.
I want to read something that if I spend nowadays is $4, or $5. Like if I'm spending that money in the 10 value, it shouldn't take me 10 minutes to read.
No, agreed.
And this is why I love what you're doing here. I mean, it feels like I'm getting so much context, so much story, so much interaction between the players of the story, and thank you. I mean, look at this. Not one page that I've shown has been low on verbiage. I love it. This is the good thing, though. This is the good thing. It complements the artistry. It allows you to, eat up the art. When you read these words and when you look at it, oh shit, I get what they're going. You know what I mean? How it helps build that beautiful imagination that we are all born. I mean, look at this. I love it, bro. Shit. I haven't supported a Kickstarter in a minute, but you're showing me something that looks like, all right, this is where I gotta put my money at because I'm gonna get some fucking story out of this, bro.
I hope so. I mean, we put a lot into it, and I think that people will get their money's worth.
And look at the artistry, bro. Just the movement. It's eye candy, bro.
Yeah. I told you, Gonzalo's a great storyteller, and Arthur's colors really make it pop.
Oh yeah, man. And just the differentiating, contrast, like the lighting, you could tell,
Yeah.
Well, very smart artist, yo. Very smart. And then you say you got that backup. Look at this. This reminds me, and again, it's a favorite old thing of mine, Tapping the Vein, Clive Barker back in the day, those maxi series. I mean, that type of art where it looks like it's painted, like brushed, Sienkiewicz. I mean, look at this. That's what this looks like. Talk to me about this.
So this is Gonzalo Ruggieri, who's an artist down in Argentina. I got a hold of him. Actually, I kind of cold called him. I backed his sketchbook on Kickstarter last year, and I started following him on social media, and I realized that he did some work on the Rumble book for Image a while back.
Oh man, Rumble was so fucking good, bro.
Yeah, I love that book, and I didn't realize that I have an issue or two that Gonzalo had done.
Well, bro, I got the run of that. Like, when they do barbarian stuff like Headlopper, Andrew McLean, awesome. I love my Conan, feel me?
Absolutely.
I love my Barbaric from Vault, you know what I mean? All that shit, that's right up my lane, man.
Absolutely. So I just emailed him honestly and said, hey, I've got this short backup story, 8 pages per issue for 6 issues. Would you be interested? And he said yes. So he started turning in, layouts, and he worked with me and Heather on this. And the black and white, the ink wash that he did first looked great, but then he came back with the colors, and it just looks like it doesn't look watercolor because it's too bright. But but it still feels that kind of wash.
Yeah, it is a nice wash to it. Absolutely, that Tapping the Vein style that I'm thinking about. I'm like, yo, because again, I love me my horror books, and when you look at something like this, is I think one of the best fits in artistic style for horror.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, look at the zombies there. Like, there's not we're way back from them, but you can get all the detail you need to tell that that's a zombie's face falling apart. Right?
Absolutely. In the dome, and you see these humans, and you could tell the humans is being deuces right now. So I love this, bro. And
thank you.
And let's talk about these variants. You got the Fangs and Bones right here, part 1, right? Then Liana, oh my god, oh bro, fuck.
Yeah, her cover came out so great. We put it up on social media this week just to kind of plug it a little bit.
It just kills me, the uses of her blues, and then you throw in those reds and those yellows. It's like, what the F, yo?
I know.
Crazy.
I love it. Look how it pops. We're actually going to announce. I think it's live today, actually, or no, tomorrow. Sorry, live tomorrow. We're doing a day glow. I'm sorry. What do you call it? Blacklight glow in the dark cover edition of this one, so you can get it like an old blacklight poster, or t-shirt or whatever.
You need to do a t-shirt on this for real. I think for the clubs, you do this Zombie Town, just that Zombie Town and the artistry, bro, and make sure those greens, bro, for a club t-shirt. Yes, please.
That would look awesome,
folks. Don't let the white hairs fool you. Yes, I still do like to go out and dancing, and I will probably outdance half of you. At least half.
You'll definitely outdance me. I can tell you that right now.
I mean, I'm Latino, man. I got that merengue. Man, but I love the covers. I mean, look at this right here. The Wolf She Cried, right? The first story. You got this. All right, let's get into this, folks. I want people to spend some money. So let's get real quick. $1, because wait a minute, dude, are you lying to me? So you have a pledge without nothing.
Yep.
But for $1, you could get 5 digital indie. Holy shit, bro! You are the first creator that I've ever spoken to that has done a $1 tier that actually offers something.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, I took my hat off again. I'm gonna do it again. Holy shit! I think this is so cool. Thank you, because you know what? This is how you build the following. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the support of others. Because obviously, I could tell these are just people that believe in your project that offered up their product. You know, wow. A salute to you. And this is why we support indie. It is such a beautiful, supportive community. Now,
absolutely.
When you want to get into it, folks, for yourselves, you want some Bixby brand, Fangs and Brimstone, all for yourself. It starts as low as $5 on that digital format, baby. 30 pages of comic, not 22 for $5 like the big two do. We're talking about 30. All right, so we get 8 extra pages, and guess what? There ain't gonna be ads in between them, I'm sure, right?
No, sir.
So 30, you hear this? 30 pages of real comic book art and story, no ads for $5. You can't go wrong here, folks.
Nope.
Beautiful. And then digital catch up. I mean, not just one, but 2. You got $12 right here, right?
Yep.
Beautiful. $12, folks. Then you get, now we're getting into some nice variants, cover A, Gonzalo, physical, correct? Being shipped.
Yep.
$15. But US shipping is free and included in your pledge. Understand that? International shipping for my international fans. I'm sorry. That's going to be a little bit more costly because you know what it is. But don't blame the creator. Blame the USPS. Blame UPS that wants to start charging us per gas. Like our package weighs the most in that goddamn plane, and we're paying for that jet food. That's what it is.
I do offset it though. I give all my international backers get free prints and free stickers, so they get all the extras.
Oh.
Yep.
Ooh.
I don't want to. You got to offset that. You got to give, if you're going to pay that extra cash,
thinking, baby,
give you a little extra something.
And then Gabriel Hardman, another great artist. Again, I gotta ask again, bro, fucking Gabe Hardman, really, bro? Who are you? I was landing these guys.
I gotta tell you, every single person that I've worked on Bixby Grant with, I have been flabbergasted that they said yes. Like the fact, so Gabriel is a friend of my buddy Shannon, my old business partner. I told you he knows everybody. So one day he texted me and he's like, "Hey, would you like Gabriel Hardman to maybe do a cover?" And I was like, "Of course, I love." Are you
asking me? I dare you, just get it done.
Yeah. And so he gave me Gabriel's email, and I shot him an email, and he said yes. So, he didn't do it for free. I pay a living wage.
You gotta get paid. It is what it is. And again, but it's a beautiful piece that, listen, it only benefits this great project. So,
that cover is so great. It's just got a lot of energy to it. Great pose. I love the shadow of the monster in the background.
And seeing the shadow, very shadowish as well. And the feel, but I know he ain't the shadow because I think this man will bust the shadow's ass. What do you think?
I don't know. That I would love to have a team up and find out.
Hey, DC, you heard it here. You heard it here. If you still own it, whoever the hell owns it, you gotta make it happen.
Yeah, I'll make some calls.
Yeah, make it happen, bro. I would love to see that. We got the Liana Kangas. We got the print catch up. You say $5 for 2 for $40. All right. And again, you get extras with this. This is not just books. You're getting stickers. You're getting some good stuff. Prints and whatnot. Get all 3 covers. You say $15 for $50. Support indie. Hell yeah. And then when homie's at a con, which we'll be finding out really soon where he's going to be at next, you can get them signed and whatnot. If you don't, come on. Support indie is what we do. A metal cover. Yeah. That's right. Mamas, don't hit your kids over the head with these because you might cause brain damage. There's really beautiful covers. You want to keep them safe. They're going to be dope. $50 right there for that. All 3 covers plus a medal for 8. Oh, damn, bro. You pimping over here on the deals, man. What's going on? And then we have early birds, but these are mostly gone, right?
Yeah. Those were only for the first day.
And everybody jumped on, bro.
I
That
got a lot.
means you had a following already. So again, salute to you guys.
Thank
For
you.
supporting my man, Pat, right here, and knowing how dope the project is. That's great, man. I
Thank
love
you.
to see when the community gets involved and support. Bixby Grant, right there, folks. It's a live project right now. Please show the love. They only have 16 days to go.
Yep.
We're almost at the goal. And
And
again,
we got tiers for every budget. So, come on
Yeah.
out. You don't have to pay 50 or 80 bucks if you don't want to. If you want to pay $5, you're still
Yeah.
going to get a comic.
every little bit helps.
Yep.
But most importantly is the fact that he is so close and there's 2 paydays left. Don't play with me, folks. Come on now. Christmas is around the corner. Ladies,
right.
gentlemen, kids, for your parents, if you have a comic book geek in your life as a parent.
Yep.
This is fantastic. It's cheap and a great stocking stuffer.
Perfect.
And they're gonna love you for this because you're gonna put them on to something that's so outside of big two. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Aren't we all tired of that? Let's get real. I mean, they're playing to things, they're changing up the characters we love, and they're doing what they gotta do for the reader of today, and that's fine.
Right.
Salute to them for caring about today's reader. But for those that care about yesteryear's reader, you know what I mean? And just, people that want to read a straight up awesome comic book adventure, this is where you go. This is Sukasa, where we got some, universal monster with a whole different look and parlay doing what he got to do.
That's right.
From the mind of an amazing independent creator that is Patrick Coyle. So, brother, 2 things before we go today. Are you going to be doing any cons for the remainder of this year where we could meet you, maybe even get a signed copy?
I just did my last appearance. Unless something pops up just this past weekend, I did an appearance.
Unless somebody sponsors the Mighty Coyle.
Yeah, unless something opens up, but between now and the first of the year, it's going to be super busy with holidays and kids and all that kind of stuff. So, but I will be hitting up a bunch of shows next year. I haven't quite lined it up yet, but I did about a handful of shows this year, so I'll be around. So keep an eye out for me on social media. If I know that my addresses have been shown here, so if you follow me, you'll see where I'm going to be.
Yeah, man, it's right there below for Meta Patrick Makes Comics and X Patrick Coyle, Instagram and Threads Patrick Coyle 71, showing his age. You know what I mean? I don't want to put that number out there. I mean, I'll give you credit though. You're less gray than me. Look at me, and I'm younger than you.
Yeah, yours looks good though. At least yours is all white. Mine's kind of patchy,
Hey, I just refuse to dye. They told me, "Can you?" I'm like, no, I refuse. It actually, I like this glow in the dark look.
Yeah, I like that, man. You get the dark up here and the white down here. That's a good
I'm
look.
looking at Coco from NWO, right? Wolfpack. Oh! All right. So another thing before we go is advice, man. Because you got some dope Kickstarters. You've been in the game. You've been trying. You've been working at navigating. Not even trying. You're doing. I love this. You're a doer. You're getting things done. Like, what type of advice would you give, to a youngin trying to step in now?
From the Kickstarter side of things, I would say do your research. Don't just throw something up there. Make sure you find out that the kinds of comics that do well on Kickstarter are the same kind of comics that you want to sell. Not everything does super well on there, unless you're a name brand who used to work at Marvel or even Image or something. A superhero book doesn't usually do all that well. But fantasy does really well. The not safe for work kind of romance stuff. I mean, romance just means nudity. But
nowadays, I mean, wait.
Yeah.
When Jack Kirby was doing romance, I mean, who would have thought that this Brooklyn native, was a Papi Chulo, if you will, and getting the ladies, right? But yeah, I agree that nowadays romance has turned into like, oh shit, like very adult conversation type books that I would want to keep my kids away from wholeheartedly. Like, there's no way you're gonna be looking at this shit.
Yeah, not safe for work is what they usually call them. Right?
Not safe for work, not safe for home. Because you bring this, your wife look at you sideways.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's nothing against those books. It's just they have their place and they have their audience.
Absolutely.
But I'm just giving examples of like what does well on there, right? So
you're right,
even if you can talk to some other people, go online, see people are usually pretty approachable, which is why I love the comic book industry. Just hit up people that have done stuff on Kickstarter before. Ask them a couple of questions. Don't like give them a questionnaire.
Don't
but
be shy.
Right.
Converse. Exactly.
Right.
Not a questionnaire, but converse.
Right.
Ask them, how are they?
Yes.
What's popping? Hey, do you mind if I take, have a moment of your ear? Like, be respectful because these people are in fact busy. But I gotta ask also one more thing. I know I said that before, but just one last.
Yeah, of
I
course.
am so digging that mummy thing behind you over your left shoulder.
Over here?
Yeah, bro. What is that? Is that like what is vinyl or
Here,
plastic? What is that? It looks so dope.
So it's actually wood. On this guy.
Wood? What?
Yeah, look, it's wood.
Oh shit, yo!
So
wow.
I was at a show, the
Ooh,
Granite State
boss.
Con up in New Hampshire, and I met this guy TJ. His TJ Hero is his handle online, and he makes these for all kinds of different pop culture things. And so
he was a Comic Crusader logo like that.
Yeah. So what he does is he spray paints it, and then he cuts it out of the wood, or vice versa. I can't remember which way. And then he puts epoxy over it to give it that nice shine, and so you can touch it and not mess up the paint. Yeah, and he made it for me like between nights at the convention. Like he went home, made one for me, and brought it back the next day.
No
Isn't that great?
way.
Yeah. Look him up. Everyone should look him up. It's TEEJ HERO, TJ Hero.
Yeah, bro, hit him up. I would love to see what other work he's done because I was staring at that during that interview. I don't know if you saw my eyes always pop off to your, over your song. Like, oh, that shit looks so cool.
I mean, that's why I put it up here, right?
I know, bro, pimping. I know what you're doing, bro. That's why I gotta ask. I love it. Pat, you've been an amazing guest. I appreciate the crap out of you. And folks, one more time, other links also below in the notes. Please follow my man on social at Patrick Makes Comics, on X at Patrick Coyle, on Instagram and Threads, Patrick Coyle 71. But most importantly, support this amazing project that is live right now, 16 days to go. It is Bixby Grant, Fangs and Brimstone 1, a supernatural mystery, baby. And if you're into that, grab those Scooby snacks, because there's going to be a whole bunch of joy for you. Let me tell you, all right? So I'm digging it. Thank you again, Patrick and mi gente, my fellow Crusaders. Thank you for tuning in. Show the love, man. Make sure you let Pat know that Mega and or the Machine sent you from outside the panels, because he's been on both already. I mean, there's how much we love to support independent creators, universally in the States and everywhere, live and recorded. That's what we do. Mi gente, much love. Hasta la próxima. Omega is out. Wepa!
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.